everyone, my name's Jamie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't know why Mother Nature absolutely hates me, but it was looking like a pretty decent day after yesterday. It was literally raining all day, but I wanted to film this video and I was like, I'm just not gonna do it because my room was super dark and gloomy. Anyway, the sun was out and I was like, perfect, let me start filming. I set up my camera, I clean my desk, everything's good. And then I look outside and I can just see grey clouds heading towards my house essentially, and yeah, it basically just started storming. I think the rain has stopped for now, but it has gotten a little bit darker in here, so I've got a light. It's kind of blinding me. I was really hoping to rely on natural light today, but alas, probably not going to happen. And who knows, the sun could be shining by the end of this video because Melbourne weather, but I'm just going to go ahead and film it anyway because I've already got everything set up. So if it's a little bit dark, I apologize. I am seriously being blinded by this light in my face right now, but hopefully that helps a little bit. And who knows, like I said, the sun could be shining by the end of this video because I am going to be filming for about an hour. If you haven't noticed, I have a timer behind me because this video is going to be another addition to this new, I guess, series that I'm starting. This is only the second one, so I guess it's officially a series on my channel where I see how much I can knit in an hour, but for each video I'll be knitting on different size needles and with different yarn weights, etc., to kind of compare and contrast and really show the difference that can make. I also wanted to mention that I definitely didn't come up with this idea. I've seen other people do it before. My friend Anna, I believe she might have been the one to start it, which I wasn't entirely aware of. I definitely remember seeing her do it a couple of years ago, but I think she mentioned on her podcast that she may have been the first person to do it. So you started a trend, Anna, and like, I'm lazy and couldn't come up with ideas, so I stole your idea. Sorry about that. But hopefully putting my own spin on it makes it kind of interesting. But yeah, I wanted to give credit to her because I definitely didn't come up with this idea myself. If you're new here, by the way, I make videos about knitting, fiber arts, yarn, maybe a bit of crochet, all those kind of things. I'm trying to post a bit more regularly, but not really succeeding. So yeah, roughly, you know, every 2 to 3 weeks, let's say, I'm making videos on here. I do a lot of knitting podcasts and everything in between. Maybe some vlogs in the future. So if that interests you, feel free to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, which are both at Jamie_creates. I would promote my Threads, but I don't use it, so I'm not going to promote it. I think Threads died, but anyway. I also have some really exciting news that I recently started a Patreon about a week ago. This is my first video since I did that, so I haven't mentioned it on here. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm not going to go into like too much detail because this video is already going to take me an hour to film. However, yeah, I just wanted to mention that because if you're interested in getting some more content from me, and not only that, I really kind of want this Patreon to be like a community and a space where people can come together over our shared interests of knitting. So if you want to meet some, you know, other like-minded fiber artists, knitters from around the world, I would highly recommend checking out my Patreon. There's also a free membership tier where I'll just be doing occasional public posts, kind of like more like announcements and things like that. So if you want to join that, it's totally free and you'll just get notified, you know, when I release a pattern or when I'm doing a pattern test or random other things, when I'm doing a sale. I don't know, you get the point. Absolutely no pressure to join, obviously, but if you wanted to check that out, the link will be in the description. And if you did join, I would be eternally grateful. So that's that. Okay, housekeeping out of the way. So I'm currently working on a test knit. I only have one sleeve left. I may actually finish it in this video. I don't really know how long it's gonna take me to do the second sleeve. I did the first sleeve yesterday, but I don't really know how long it took me. I think it took me over an hour, so I don't think I'm gonna finish the whole sleeve in this video, but who knows, maybe while I'm not watching The Ultimatum at the same time, maybe I will finish it. I don't know, we shall see. This test knit is for Brenda. Beatific Brenda? I literally don't know how to say. Is it Beatific Brenda? Beatific someone tell me how to say it, because I'm genuinely like, sorry, pronunciation isn't normally my like weak point, but apparently today it is. Anyway, this is the String of Hearts jumper. It's a gorgeous v-neck with these really cute little like heart little colorwork rows throughout. I'm using up a bunch of my leftover skeins, all from Cardigan. Let me try and remember the colors. So I believe this is Tangerine Dream. This is, okay, I can't remember the name, but I'm gonna put it on the screen. It's the light blue one. This is Mova Nova. And then I'm pretty sure this is either bubblegum or candy shop. I gotta double check which one it is because I get confused with all the pinks. But yeah, it's one of the pinks. I'll put it on the screen which one it is. I went with the pastels and I'm really loving how it's coming together. I have honestly missed knitting on 15mm needles, like just knitting some chunkiness, because ever since I finished knitting all the samples for my book, I just kind of went on a bit of a small needle kick, which I'm still definitely on. I've been knitting like socks, and I just finished my camisole number 9, which is on 3mm needles, and I was crocheting with 3mm hook. I designed a new piece on 4.5mm needles. So yeah, I've definitely been on a small needle kick, obviously because my book was all bulky weight and chunky yarn, so I was definitely getting use out of my 8 to 15mm needles. Obviously some of them range a bit smaller than that, but most of it, yeah, it was all on the chunkier side. So I think I was just kind of missing knitting with smaller needles, because I usually like to have a variety of projects going on with different needle sizes to make sure my hands don't get too sore from the same kind of repetitive movement. And I definitely been noticing that my hands were getting sore from knitting with the smaller needles. So when I saw that this test knit was a thing, I went, well, I'll be signing up for that. I haven't done a test knit in so long. It's a perfect excuse to use up these scraps, and it's a gorgeous piece, and it's like some instant gratification for me, so that's been good. So how this is going to work is I have got my timer behind me. I have my yarn, my project. I am going to chuck a podcast on. I'm going to, obviously, I don't even need to track where I started because I know that I'm just starting from the sleeve. I haven't started it yet, so we'll just get to see how much of this sleeve I can knit in 1 hour. Last time I did this, my phone ran out of storage several times, so I'm not going to film the entire thing. I'm probably going to just stop and start just so that I'm not running out of storage, because then I didn't even end up using like a majority of the footage. So hopefully that works out and I don't forget to hit record at any point. But yeah, I'll just be checking in with you at certain points, and that's really it. So how about we get started? I'm gonna click start on this because I think I'm officially gonna start, picking up stitches. Let's begin. In, and I'm on my 4th row. I think picking up stitches alone just took me like 4 minutes, which is pretty insane considering there's not that many stitches to pick up just around a sleeve. Also, I will say that the color work row does take me a little bit longer because I am doing alternating colors, and one I just like to do because I can knit English style and continental. So ambidextrous, not really, but not actually ambidextrous at all. But yeah, because I'm able to do both styles, it means that I just alternate and knit 1 stitch continental, 1 stitch English style, so that it's easier to manage the 2 strands. I'm pretty sure that's a very, very common technique in like Fair Isle knitting. I don't do a lot of Fair Isle, but I'm pretty sure that's what people do. Yeah, it takes me a little bit longer just because I'm not as quick on the English style, especially with chunky needles and chunky yarn. I don't know what it is, but for some reason the way that I hold the yarn and everything with English style is not very conducive to chunky yarn, but for some reason continental I'm able to knit pretty quickly. So yeah, it definitely slows me down, so that would probably play a factor, but that's okay. It's still how much can I knit, you know, on this specific project. So that's what we're measuring. At roughly 10 minutes in, I did 4 rows. So we'll see how many, if I can keep up this pace, then I will end up with, let's make me do maths on the spot. That will be fun for everyone to watch. 4 rows times 6 24. Okay, so I should get to about roughly 24 rows if I keep this pace up. However, I think the stitch picking up situation definitely ate into my time, so maybe I'll actually get more in. Maybe I'll get up to, I'm anticipating I'm going to get up to where I start my decreases. I think that will be as much as I get to. I have a feeling I'm not going to actually make it to the sleeve cuff, but if I do, then I am just an incredible speed knitter, and I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera off now, and I will check back in maybe in like 15 minutes. We'll see. Basically at 30-minute mark, and I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think I'm on my 14th row, so at this rate I should get to 28 rows. I think I'm gonna probably turn the camera off again for a little bit and maybe check in with you again in around 15 minutes, just for the sake of saving my storage. I have to change colors now, so it's probably a good time, but I'll see you in however long. Sorry, it's not quite 15 minutes, but I just wanted to point out, in case anyone was wondering, the sun is out right now. When I started this video roughly 45 minutes ago, it had just basically finished storming, like sideways rain, grey clouds, and the sun is definitely out. It's definitely, the clouds are opening. So if that doesn't scream Melbourne weather, I don't know what does. I will say, to be fair, to give Melbourne some grace, because we do love her. We've actually had some pretty consistent weather recently that's actually been quite nice and sunny, and the start of spring has definitely brought some beautiful days, and I think there is going to be quite a bit of rain this week, but we have been pretty consistent recently. Like yesterday was just gloomy and rainy like pretty much all day. Oh, actually no, I feel like yesterday in the morning it was like beautiful and sunny, and then the rest of the day was all rainy, but like at least like half is like I can manage. But when it's in the span of less than an hour and it changes that drastically, like I was setting up my camera, I just want to point this out, setting up my camera doesn't take that long, cleaning my desk, and it was sunny. By the time I'd done that, it was grey clouds, sideways rain. And then within less than an hour of that, it's sunny again. So yeah, it really keeps you on your toes, and that's why I just was like, there's just no point in not filming this video right now, because who knows, like it could appear to be sunny later on and then randomly start raining again, so it's just not worth it. But anyway, we are kind of almost at the 15-minute mark. I might just keep the camera on until then. Okay, officially at the 15-minute mark. This is where we're currently at, just in case it wasn't clear. So 3/4 of the way there in terms of our time. I'm not exactly sure how many rows I've done. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 22 rows I've done. So looking good in terms of, I think I need to get to 36 rows from memory. So not sure I'll exactly get to 36, but I probably get pretty close. So that's exciting. All right, we've hit the 5-minute mark already. I just missed it before. Whoopsies. I will say, sun is definitely gone. Prob's gonna rain again because those clouds look pretty grey to me. So I definitely spoke a little too soon before in terms of the weather changing, but that's exactly why. I was gonna take the risk because you just never know with this weather. Hopefully it's not too dark and gloomy. But yeah, I'm almost done, and my podcast actually finished a little while ago, so I couldn't really find anything else to listen to, and I didn't want to like stop the timer for too long, so I just been kind of sitting in silence for like a few minutes. So I want to try to avoid that because it's not good for me. Like, I get way too lost in my thoughts, and I much prefer being distracted when I'm knitting. Oh, it's raining. Yep, it's raining outside. So hopefully it's not too loud. Hopefully you can't hear it or anything. I don't think it's raining too intensely right now, so it should be okay. But yeah, the amount of times the weather has changed just in this hour is like astonishing to me. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. Yeah, it's not good for me to sit in silence for too long while I'm knitting, because then I just start getting way too lost in my thoughts, and I much prefer having content to keep me entertained, because I don't find my thoughts very entertaining, to be honest. That sounded really dark. I don't mean it like that. I also will say something about knitting the second sleeve, especially with chunky knits, is just like so annoying, because I've gotten these confused, because when I'm knitting magic loop and I have like already an entire garment like with a hole of a sleeve, and I have to like, not even just the magic loop, like just turning the sleeve in general, like knitting it in the round, it just becomes such a mission every single time. And then also the magic loop element of it means that I have to kind of keep readjusting my needles. So yeah, I think maybe I would have been a bit quicker on the first sleeve, but then also the first sleeve I was kind of like reading the pattern at the same time, and I definitely like had to frog a few bits because I kept misreading the pattern. So yeah, I think that maybe it would have taken me a bit quicker had I not had to go back. But in general, like, I find the second sleeve to be a bit more of like a physically demanding effort than the first sleeve. So if you've knit a chunky piece like this, do you agree? Like, do you have that same experience? Also about to run out of time. Let's see if I can get one more row in before I run out of time, because this is the last row of this color. So I want to see if I can kind of just finish at a nice satisfying point where I'm about to, you know, change to the next color, but I'm like speed knitting now. All right, I should be able to do it. Just need some more yarn. One more minute. I should just make it, but we'll see. I'm gonna be like panic speed knitting right now. Yeah, if I really wanted to go this fast the whole way, I would probably really hurt my hands. So this is definitely a little bit faster than I normally knit, just because, yeah, it's a bit intense. But yeah, no, we made it. We made it at least that row. I'm gonna... Do I like change colors in this like 20 seconds that I have left, or do I just kind of leave it there? I think I'll just like start getting my... Oh, I just have to cut this yarn actually, because I already have the next color attached. Oh, so I reckon I can actually start. I've only got 10 more seconds. But not as satisfying, but at least I've used up all the time. Okay, that's enough. Well, it's definitely raining, and I don't want to film for too much longer, but I will show you everything I managed to get done. So this is as much as I did. So if we look at this other sleeve, all I really have to do is just this blue section, a little bit of purple, and the sleeve cuff. So I managed to get pretty much like the vast majority of this sleeve done in 1 hour of knitting, which I am very impressed with myself for. Very proud. I didn't think I was going to get the whole thing done. I thought there was maybe a chance, but maybe if I was knitting at that like super speed the entire time, I may have been able to, but it's pretty hard to keep that pace up, especially with a sleeve when you're like stopping and starting, and then like with the color changing, there's no way I would have been able to do that. But yeah, that was like a little bit fun to show you my super speed. I've recently found out that speed knitting is like a thing. Like there's people who are like professional speed knitters and like hold records, and like I think that is crazy. I want to look into it more, not in terms of like me doing it, but just like I want to like research it a bit more and like see how fast people can knit. I recently saw like a reel where someone was talking about it, but I want to see more. So side note, I find that very interesting. Anyway, that's as much as I did. Pretty impressed with myself. I think when I did the 3mm one, to be fair, I was working like a larger circumference, but like I probably did like this much. And so obviously you can tell chunky needles, chunky yarn, it should be very obvious, but it's a lot quicker. I'm personally partial to pretty much any needle size. They all have their purposes and they all serve their purposes for me. Right now, I am getting a bit of a kick out of this, but I couldn't do just chunky knits. Like I definitely need to have some variety. So yeah, if I only did chunky knits, like my whole house would be filled up with knits. Like right now it's already pretty bad, like the amount of knitwear that I have, but it would be out of control if I only made chunky pieces. So we do have to have a limit. This will probably be my last chunky piece for a while, especially because we're going into summer here. But this is how it's looking. Yeah, almost done. Yeah, I think that's all I have for this video. Hopefully this was fun and interesting and kept you company while you worked on something, if you chose to work on something while you watched this. Hope you enjoyed watching. Remember to subscribe and like this video if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you like. Let me know if you have any video ideas, what you're working on, anything. Leave a comment and let me know. Not the best at replying to comments, but I do read them all. You can check out my Patreon if you haven't already. Check out my patterns. All the links for everything will be in the description. The sun is out again. Of course it is. Anyway, I hope this lighting wasn't too chaotic. I have absolutely no idea how this video is going to turn out, but yeah, hopefully it was alright, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!